Hey, this is Mateo Lane.
I'm Emma Willman.
And this is Inside the Closet.
Inside the Closet.
This is really strong coffee. When you bitch about weak coffee, you get strong coffee.
And we're back.
Welcome to Inside the Closet. We're here with one of my favorite people on the face of the planet.
One of my favorite people on the face.
My Italian sister.
Yeah.
Frank Loitti.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me here.
Of course. And I love Italians.
Well, here you are. This is it.
This is it.
This is going to be a pretty whoppy podcast.
What does WAP mean exactly?
Without papers.
And we were called that because we would so much of us coming over from Italy that when we would come over and people who didn't have the papers, they would put without papers on our chest. And so we were known as WAPs.
I thought it was because we couldn't read the New York Times unless it was in Braille.
Italians are so different from what I grew up with because I'm from my family's real New England oppressed, kind of waspy.
I'm from Chicago. You're from New York, and we've always grown up around Italians.
Italians like black.
It's what?
The cultures are very similar. People say Jews are very similar, but I think Italian and black are very
Whoopi Goldberg
similar.
Always says Italians. It's a boat ride away from Africa.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And
Jews know what it
and
is?
Italians always say they're similar. I think that Italian and black is more similar.
That's interesting.
I do.
Because Italian is when I think of Italians, I think of passion. But
wildly passionate.
Passionate.
There's different subsets of Italian. There's a lot of different types of Italians.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you guys the same type of Italian?
Well, I'm Napolitan and Sicilian.
And as am I.
So yeah, and actually Frank and I bonded over talking about
But you have more white in you, don't you? Isn't
Yeah,
the
my
other
dad's
half,
Irish.
Yeah, the other half is Irish. I'm 3/4 Napolitan and 1/4 Sicilian and a quarter Napolitan.
I was in Rome last week, and I mentioned Naples.
That's
and
such
it was
a baller statement. I was in Rome last week.
When you mention Naples to Italians,
cool.
It's like a bomb went off. They were arguing with each other, screaming and yelling because it's such a controversial city.
What,
I didn't know that.
Naples.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah, I said
Why?
Naples. Oh, they steal from you, they lie from you, but they have the best food. They created opera.
Pizza is like nothing you've ever seen. And then there's the Italians in Queens with vocal damage like that. The fashions were simply gorgeous. The women, Emma.
Yeah,
the women.
We bonded over talking about our aunts and how we grew up with the same childhood. We both had, and it really is kind of, when you meet other people who are Italian, it really is, you bond because you're like, oh my God, we really did grow up with a very similar childhood.
Well, my girlfriend always says that you don't get it because you're not Italian. And I was, this past weekend, Matteo and I were in Jamestown, and there's an Italian comedian named Tammy, what was her last name?
Tammy Piscatelli.
I knew the name, I just couldn't pronounce it. Piscatelli.
Yeah.
So I was saying Piscatelli. I was saying Piscarelli, so I was fucking it up. But Tammy Piscatelli, when we were going to watch this show, she said, she was like, I need to be on an exit seat because I got to get out of here quick. She goes, it's an Italian thing. And I told my girlfriend that. She goes, yeah.
Yeah. I
go, I fucking love Italians. She goes, I just gotta know when I gotta get out, And I was like, I don't know, but I appreciate that.
Well, my aunt and Frank's mother both had dogs that they didn't want.
Oh my God. I forgot about this.
You describe it because it is the exact description of my Aunt Cindy.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. She changed when she got older, my mother. But when I was growing up, it was always, I forgot about this. I used to talk about this on stage. Get the dog out of the living room. Get the dog out of the dining room. Get the dog out of my bedroom. I'm like, Mom, Muffin can't levitate. It was always about vacuum marks. My friends would make fun of me to this day. They'd be like, how are the vacuum marks? She's dead, but the vacuum marks are still there because no one's allowed in the living room.
Oh, my grandmother could win an award for her vacuum marks.
The shapes of the vacuum
yes.
marks. The dog ended up in this stone basement where the washer and the dryer were.
Why even have a dog?
With Christmas decorations, because I needed it. I wanted a dog.
Like a support animal?
When I moved out, when it got older. What do they call that? Service dog.
The service dog. Yeah.
Service dog. For my condition!
When did you come out to your Italian family?
I didn't. I was just present in who I was. I brought people home. I didn't care.
What did your mom say to you though? She was, at least you're not.
No, she said, do you want a meatball? She was always about food.
Oh, I thought meatball was a term for
no, for balls.
Another Italian guy or something.
No, but she was like, I like Alex. He's so man. He's like a man. He's masculine. Bob is too soft.
So, because there's different things. It's challenging gender stuff. Is what can really make people uncomfortable. You never had a fake girlfriend?
No.
Because I didn't know Frank was gay when I first met him.
No, I didn't. I didn't. But that's probably why I'm so comfortable with it and don't like live in talking about it constantly.
You never had a fake girlfriend.
No, I had loved girls though. I had crushes on like
Right.
crippling crushes on girls when I was younger. It was weird. I didn't always know. Like people were like, did you always know? I didn't always know. I remember like very early being in the showers at the ocean at Smith's Point Beach. I remember being like, why does everyone want to leave so fast? Like that I remember.
I love it here.
I was little.
This place is great.
I was little. It was like that.
I just kind
funny.
of want to like keep asking him questions about his childhood because I find
Please.
Frank's childhood absolutely fascinating.
Frank is
weird.
such a textured, layered person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you also look so Italian. I can't even.
You think? People always
Yes.
think I'm Al Qaeda.
Well, okay, but you're the kind
have
of
a beard,
Italian
though.
like where you're mixed. You know what I'm saying? You're like you're mixed.
Like Duncan Hines.
I want to know what's your favorite thing. I want to know your favorite thing about your aunts. I want to know.
I hated those women. Like, I liked my father's sister. My father's side of the family was different. My father's sister went to the High School of Performing Arts in, like, the 1940s. She lived to be 93. She was twice divorced, lived in a gorgeous house up in Woodstock, never owned a TV, just a big grand piano, and made her life in music. Like, that was the side of the family I connected with.
Yeah, because were there other performers besides her and you?
No.
I'm the only performer in my family.
Me too.
And I have 26 first cousins.
I am
Well, no,
the-
my cousin Rob in Colorado plays guitar.
Professionally?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's making a living off of it, so, you know, he
Right.
performs. But I have a very performative type family. I mean, we grew up on the same block with each other.
Right.
And it probably 3-4 days out of the week I saw all my cousins. And when my Aunt Cindy, who's like the funniest person I know, which this past weekend I was in Chicago for a wedding, right? And I was at my Aunt Cindy's house, and my family for some reason decided they love Linda Ronstadt. I don't know why.
Now?
She
Like recently
No,
it happened?
back in the day. So my Aunt Cindy had her CDs, and my aunt goes, "Let me just show you something." This is words of advice from an Italian woman. She goes, "Here's how you know you're getting fat. When they take you the picture, and every picture of you as the album goes on, they keep cropping up your body." She goes, "First album, Linda Ronstadt's naked on the beach. Then we get to the 80s, it's a bust. Then the 90s, it's her head," and she literally holds up a CD. She goes, "Now it's just her eyes."
Didn't she? Is that the aunt that when there was a fat person in the neighborhood walking by, your aunt at the table in the house went,
No.
Well, yes.
yeah, I stole that joke once, yeah.
Okay, so my cousins, we grew up. Okay, there was a girl on our block who was really mean to my cousin Megan, which I forgot about this. So there's like 15 of us. We're all at a table, right? And I was like probably 5 or 6. And this girl would walk by. We were sitting, the front kitchen, where we sat faces the outside, so the sidewalk. So this girl, she knew that she was mean to my cousin Megan. So she'd walk by, and my aunt wouldn't do anything. And as she was walking by, my aunt would start shaking the table. And then the second she gets out of view, ba-boom, ba-boom, and then it stopped.
Is that Aunt Cindy?
Yeah.
My mother's side of the family, the aunts that you're talking about, my mother was one of 7. I'm the baby
My
of
mom's one of 7.
3, right?
And you just
Yeah,
had,
my mom's the 3rd.
My mom's the 3rd.
and you just had one
and I'm
sibling.
the baby of,
2 siblings. Now I have one because the other one's dead.
but you're the baby of 3?
Of 21st cousins and the baby of 3.
I'm, Frank,
same.
my mother's one of 7. She's the 3rd oldest, and then I'm the baby of the 3.
And the baby of the 21st cousins. Those aunts, 4 of them, there were 4 girls and 3 boys. My mother, Gilda, or Gilda, which that's probably why I always loved Gilda Radner in part. My Aunt Laura, my Aunt Rosie, my Aunt Ellie are the
Were
3.
they nice to you?
Aunt Laura was. I loved her so much.
And were you a fat kid? I'm picturing a fat little kid for some reason.
No, I was
No.
a string bean. Like I have a joke lying about being fat. I had abs like when I was 5 and 6 and 7. I had a little slingshot bathing suit. I had abs before I knew what they were. I was chubby in like junior high. When
Really?
I was probably trying to, I was like eating Suzy Q's and ring dings. Like, the bread box was always, they bought like sweets because they were always at work and they felt bad for me. So
Yeah.
they probably tried to like
Italians
medicate me.
definitely use food to cure guilt.
Absolutely. And I don't know. Those women, my Aunt Laura was my favorite. She was the one whose husband was very Northern culture. They were always going to Broadway and the opera. She encouraged my career, and she died first, of course, because God always takes the good ones. The ones that were left were pretty hideous. I liked my Aunt Rosie. The only one left now is Aunt Ellie. Like when my dad was in the hospital in the cafeteria, this is like 2007. she's a drinker. She always would be like, we'd have some family thing. I'd see her like near the garage on the other side of the house crying with Uncle Freddie holding a plastic screwdriver, a cup, and vodka, orange juice. She said to me in the hospital, Frankie, the Al-Qaeda want the Obama to get it so he can destroy America. Frankie, I saw it on O'Reilly and I read it on the internet.
And this was the time she thought it was appropriate to bring it up.
She looks like white Mary J. Blige, but she's 72.
Oh, good God.
Well, the same, my
bleached hair.
One of my aunts, when my dad was in the hospital near death when I was in first grade, he had this thing called vasculitis, was in the hospital for 6 months, and my mother had to be there every day and take care of 3 kids and, and try and make the whole thing was a mess, and it was a real struggle for our family. My Aunt Nikki was in the hospital with my mom one day, and my dad's literally beep, beep, and my mom is like bone thin, and my Aunt Nikki goes, I think I'm not in love with Dino anymore.
Dino?
I think I want to get a divorce. And my mom was like, I don't care. I don't care.
That's very terms of endearment.
It's very. I mean,
don't give a shit, Mom. I'm sick.
The drama with Italian families too. I mean, just at the wedding, there's always someone trying to start something. And
That's why my parents, I think, made it to like 60 years because they were the opposite from their siblings,
and they were in love.
But they were probably the ones that the
absolutely in
siblings
love.
Went to, right?
All the time.
Where they were holding up the emotional weight of the family.
We were the only ones without money, but they were the happiest people.
Yeah.
They had a house in the suburbs on a cul-de-sac. Somehow, because it was $1.50 back when they bought it. My sisters were 17 and 13 years older than I. It was just
and
a
none of
different
them are performers.
World, no.
What did they say when you were like, I want to be? What did you say first? You want to be an actor?
No, it's just I always did it from as far back as I could. I was a pilgrim in first grade, and I was mad that I wasn't an Indian.
I think you should have been. I mean,
that's what they called it back then. Indian, Oriental. Now you say the wrong thing, and you get sent to purgatory.
Well, the Italians in Old Hollywood played Native Americans.
Now we play nothing. I love when I hear other groups complain, like, people complain. The Oscars last year, you had Fences, Hidden Figures, Moonlight. I say to people, name 2 or 3 Italian men, A-list, that are under 70. Go ahead and do it.
Well, our heyday was in the 70s. That was it.
There's nobody.
After The Godfather.
I have a fucking Yale degree. It's useless.
One of my favorite stories, and I know that this story came from a shitty experience for you, but I think it's so funny, is when Frank tells the story about how Ice-T's wife was giving him acting advice.
No, Ice-T gave me acting notes. Not
it wasn't his wife?
No, it wasn't his wife.
Is his wife Coco? Because she was at Caroline's one night.
Right, because he said,
who can break her pelvis on the ready.
Oh my God.
And because Frank was shooting an episode of
SVU.
Yes. Will you tell the story?
Yeah,
I love the story.
It's not like we had rehearsal at like 6:45 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, that's Belzer.
And Frank is Yale trained,
Marissa Hargitay,
professional actor.
Like I knew everybody on the set. I had like 4 lines. Like my character, they thought was the rapist, and it ended up being Luke Perry. It was a guy with a raspy Brooklyn accent, which is, of course, like who doesn't think of Luke Perry? When
I saw you one day in a hotel watching SVU, and you just popped up, and I took pictures of it and sent it to you.
I was thin then. And I'm watching everybody rehearse. I see the whole cast that I recognize from TV, and I'm like, who's that dude? So it goes on and on. It turns out it was a stand-in. Ice-T couldn't be bothered to come all morning. He came just later on. He showed up when he wanted to show up. He comes in, everybody's ready and rehearsed and blocked. We rehearse it one more time, and he comes over to me. He looked like he woke up 4 seconds before.
No, he never changes his tone, too. In all of his scenes, he's got the same...
my eyes, before he even says a consonant, my eyes turn to cartoon X's because his breath smelled like a rodent had been hit on Route 66 in 1997 and died in his body. He gave me some kind of acting notes, like, my lines were like about talking to a pregnant woman at the bar. And they were like, and she told you she was pregnant? My line was literally, and the party in my pants was over. Like, Ice-T's giving me acting notes about this shit. It was such a... D'Onofrio did the same thing at Criminal Intent. It's a pissing contest.
Why you, do you think? Why did he single you out?
No, it's not just me. I'm sure they do it to men in general. Like, I'm sure they do. Because when, the scenes that I've had on television have always, for the most part, centered around me. So it's like all of the regulars on the cast and then me. That's just coincidence. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So they probably do it to everyone to sort of like pull rank and have a little bit of like when a dog pisses on a tree.
Just so you know, here's how you do this.
Here's the hierarchy of it.
I want to give you
gross.
some acting advice. I learned from my mother.
You're so retarded.
The first thing that you have to do when you're going to say a line is just sort of sniff white stuff and you'll be fine.
That was beautiful.
Frank is dying.
You're so out of your mind. I could listen to him do like Liza Minnelli.
Well, let's do what we do. Frank and I do this. By the way, Frank and I have. We need to do this. We need to catch up. We go to Venereo's.
We go to venereal diseases. We go to Venero's pastry place. I stopped. Like I've been avoiding him because I lost 40 pounds since February.
You look fabulous. By the way.
I gained back like
no. You look fabulous.
What was that? Well, did Ice-T actually give you any acting advice though?
Oh. No, he doesn't know how to act.
But D'Onofrio actually kind of did because it was my first job. That was like it was probably the best job I've had yet, and it was the first job.
He told you to write a book like Coco.
I forget. I probably wrote material about it that I never do because people get defensive. Like now, especially after the election, anything and everything is open season for people getting offended.
Right.
Like anything. You mention a black person and people are offended. People get scared.
Well, you and I can't say faggot on stage without people being wildly offended.
No, but a straight black comic can. Like at Knitting Factory.
I think outside of black,
I said faggot the other day, and someone said something to me. They go, "Oh, you shouldn't say that word because." And I remember it got a bit. I said I'd rather be with a faggy little guy than a big butch woman. I said that a bunch of times.
I love that joke.
And someone said it was a straight person though, but they were like, "It's been a couple straight people have said like, hey, I don't know if you should say that word."
Yeah,
I don't think it's any race. I think it's just straight people in general can get away with saying whatever they want.
On Hannibal Lecter's show at the Knitting Factory, nobody got that. Hannibal Buress' show at the Knitting Factory, I followed a black comic who was killing saying faggot, faggot, faggot.
Really? See, that surprises me in the Knitting Factory.
It doesn't surprise me at all. I live in that neighborhood too. It just doesn't. It's so when I see the way things are like going down lately with like Montreal and with like
my thing with me that upsets me is just I just personally speaking. Listen, I've lived my whole life as a gay man and also Eliza. And there's times like I was recently in Ohio. And which of those shows went terribly, and Trump supporters got kicked out because they kept screaming Trump through Nicole Byer's set.
No, where in Ohio?
Was she talking about politics? Sorry,
yeah, she was talking about politics. She was, but she was going off. You know what I mean?
Where in Ohio?
Nicole in Columbus at the Funny Bone.
Wow.
And but I have this joke now where I said I was crossing the street to go to Starbucks, and a car drove by and screamed faggot at me, and it was my first drive-by faggot. So I'm standing there, and it's just like faggot. And it's funny, and I've had people really close, and it really happened to me. I got called faggot 3 times in one day in Columbus. And
maybe your hair or something.
Well, I was in a sundress, but still, I was like, no, I was standing there minding my own business. I was asking for it. I was in a boa, a fur coat.
No, a sundress is better than
just a simple sundress.
Cotton shift.
I was in my grandma's house coat. But people get wildly offended by me saying faggot sometimes on stage, and you're saying that someone said it to you. I know, and then I've had other gay comics like one time say, just one specific person, tell me not to. Who doesn't like the word faggot and stuff? And
who?
Like,
I know who.
And it's like it's
probably Guy Branum.
No, it wasn't Guy. Guy says faggot all the time.
He does?
Yeah, he has a joke where he says
he unfriended me on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, probably because of something. Probably because of his status, or maybe, probably because I don't have enough heat.
He has a very funny joke where he says, "I don't know why I talk this way. It's not like I'm from Fagistan. I don't know I have gay voice." No, it wasn't Guy.
Wait, Frank doesn't have gay voice.
No, Frank doesn't have. Well, there's times we talk and we can flare up.
Shut up.
For a second, I didn't think that was you.
Scott.
I never even noticed that about that you don't have gay voice.
Some people do, and some people don't. My brother is gay, and he doesn't sound as effeminate as I do. But I don't mind having gay voice.
Yeah, there's actually a documentary about it called "Do I Sound Gay?" I started to watch 30 seconds of it, and I was so bored I had to turn it off. But if anybody,
Hey, I'm going to tell you something about a story about my next.
Right.
I just don't think men are funny. It's like Lindsay, I just rather watch like Bridesmaids or like Chelsea Handler or Kathy Griffin or Margaret Cho or Sarah Silverman or Amy Schumer or that girl Emma that reminds me of like, what's her name? Ellen DeGeneres, but she's like funnier. I just don't think men are funny. It's weird.
Are the ghosts of Joan Rivers?
Are you funny? Are you going to be funny? I'm funny. People say I'm funny all the time.
These are the guys harassing Frank at P-Town.
Self-loath. No, those are the guys, period. In every state that I do.
Gay guys, right?
A gay pride in. So
it is harder to do gay shows sometimes. Although it's getting better with certain people. But I mean, sometimes it's just... I did a gay show at Gotham the other day. And they were not into it.
Did you do Homocomicus or Homocomicus?
Yeah.
See, I was lucky last time I did it.
It was the first time I'd ever done it.
Was it men and women in the audience or just men?
It was mainly men.
Because if it's more men, I'm good. If it's more women, I'm not good.
See, Emma and I have talked about this for
flip.
years. The last time I did it, it was packed. And Judy Gold closed it, and it was women, and I killed.
Yeah.
Before that, like when it's... and it was women going to see Judy Gold, because it could have been the other way around. A lot of queens love her, too. I love Judy Gold.
I love Judy Gold.
And what do you call it? When it's men... It's seriously, it's like, it's brutal.
I got booed at an AIDS event in Chicago because I went after Britney Spears.
Oh, God.
That's amazing.
But I let them have it.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Not real Britney Spears.
We always let them have it.
What do you mean?
Britney Spears was there?
No, Emma.
What do you mean?
It was a place called Manhole. She was not there.
I got confused too. I thought the same thing.
No, I went after Britney Spears. There was a bunch of like porn stars before me, and then I went on. Of course, they're not paying attention because they're horny and drunk,
right?
So they don't want to hear comedy, and I'm not a woman, so they really don't. So I said, people kept talking over me, and I was trying to do my set. So I said, "Is anyone going to pay attention?" And some guy goes, "We pay attention if you put on a jock strap."
Yeah, there's that.
And then so I said, "Oh, I get it, because I'm not Kathy Griffin or that Weekend at Bernie's in Vegas. You don't give a shit." And then they were like, "What?" I was like, "It's Britney Spears." And then I got about 6 minutes in, and I got booed off.
You know what I hate about that so much is it's like
it's not every show,
right?
It's not every show.
I hate about that so much is because like we're out here like in like very like heteronormative spaces, just like doing our thing, and none of us are preachy, but just by virtue of being ourselves, like we're like doing something a little bit different. So we're doing more, and then at least what I'm picturing is like the community where I picture like some lesbians where it's like ones that are just like, and this is probably not true, it's probably based on my own insecurity, but they're just like preaching to the people that are like preaching to the choir the most and just like mixed in the gay community are the ones that I feel are the most critical of me. And I'm like, no, you just go to your rugby team and talk about how things are fucked up and nobody who doesn't already agree with you is going to hear. And then I'm out here in all kinds of fucking spaces.
Right.
And then you're shitty to me, but it's less now, but it would be toughest with lesbian. Gay men would always be like way supportive.
Loved you.
Like out of
when I had that show at Rock Bar, gay men loved you. They would ask about you constantly.
I wouldn't even be like, because sometimes like you'd feel the support before you're even on. Like they would just see me and be like excited.
When that room was packed and a woman would go on stage, this was a gay bar.
I've done those shows there.
I was at the back of the bar, and when it was crowded, I would see everybody's shoulders relax when a woman got on stage.
So interesting.
Crazy. I started, like what you were just saying about the woman and the rugby team and the preaching to the choir and whatnot. That's why about a month and a half ago, this stuff that I always tell my friends, I started talking about on stage and doing material.
I love it.
I love it too.
Constantly. Like I tell people I do stand-up comedy, and they're like, that's so brave. When can we come in and see you perform? And I tell a gay guy, and they say, are you funny?
Yeah.
Are you going to be funny? And it's really like, Margaret Cho, Chelsea Handler, Kathy Griffin. It's really, it's kind of unbelievable to think that there's not a single A-lister that can sell out a weekend at Gotham.
That's gay, man.
By its own community.
I'm
sure that gay guys can. Cantone.
Yeah.
Women that are in their 50s.
I always talk about Mario Cantone.
Women in their 50s will go and see Mario.
Yeah.
But will the gay guys? No, they'll go see Jen Kirkman.
I was so embarrassed with Mario Cantone. I went to go watch him at Gotham. I just moved to the city and I wasn't that familiar with him. This, like 5 minutes in, the person I went with, I go, is he gay? And they go, excuse me? I go, is he gay? And they go,
it's Mario
and
Cantone.
they didn't answer me. And then like 15 minutes in, I was like, he's definitely gay.
I was just doing an interview.
That's bad. At this point, he's like singing and twirling. And I was like, he's gay.
I was doing an interview the other day, and I said, I'm like, I wish that more people, I wish Mario Cantone got the respect he deserved. At least from our community.
From our community, yeah. But I mean, he had his own one-person Broadway show, so boo-hoo.
Well, yeah.
But still, I agree with you.
But like, when you, in terms of like, whenever you say to someone, like, there's no famous gay male comedian comedian on the level of Louis C.K. They're always
or
like,
even on the level of Attell, or on the level of there's no like even a couple of levels down.
no, there's not.
No.
So they're always flabbergasted. They're always like, no, they're, and then they can't picture one. And you're like, I know.
Name 3 people that will sell out a room to gay men, and as far as
But
stand-up, and everyone's like, well,
Well, I think that this comes from a lot of the fact that, one, I think masculinity is like super precious to America for some reason.
Wait a minute, let's talk about that for a second.
Let me just explain.
No, I don't want to.
No, listen, I just want to say that I had my knees replaced, and I was lying around not doing anything, and I started to work with clay, and then I started thinking about clothing.
Finish what you were saying.
While I was making an album upside down. I just think that gay men, people were so afraid for so long of gay men because of the masculinity is so fragile and important for some reason to America, and it makes no sense.
It's an identity.
And worldly, and religion, and everything else that goes with it. So, gay men, because we weren't represented, we looked to women, and women were speaking for us in a lot of ways. I mean, Joan Rivers really was speaking for us for so goddamn. I mean, she was the only one speaking the same language as gay men forever.
I never thought about that.
And I
I
always
don't know
say,
what that is. I think it's a mishmash of hormones. I think it's also like a lot of guys were thrown into lockers by men. A lot of most of the gay people I know are.
That goes with what I'm saying.
Most of the gay people I know are close with their mothers, but not with their fathers.
Yes,
it goes very deep.
Because when a man shows that he is something softer than quote unquote the idea of masculinity,
and softer in quotes too,
it's a threat.
Well, now,
and so, Frank, that's why they're getting thrown into lockers. That's why all these things are happening.
But now in the community, all of a sudden, it's like, don't even tell me that you're into masculinity. Like,
you're not supposed to be into masculinity.
Yeah. Other gay guys now find it offensive if you ask them if you ask them on an app like a Grindr, are you masculine? Like, you can't say that anymore. A lot of people say there's a war on masculinity. A comic a comic that I love.
But so is it supposed to be 2 little faggy ones together?
A comic that, you're supposed to just be open. A comic that I love posted.
Because if I watch a porn, I saw a porn and a real Twinkie one was, I Googled like a dirty talk, I Googled verbal top daddy porn. Because I like watching people get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, what popped up is, there was this like little twink fucking this big muscular guy, and I didn't like that. And I guess it's, I don't know if it's close-minded to me, but
no,
I just
that's not what they mean. They mean like just not that kind of masculinity.
What they're saying is on the Grindr and stuff, there used to be men would say in their profiles, mask looking for mask. I'm only looking for masculine man acting, quote unquote, guys. No femmes, no this, no that. And so there was this attack.
How could someone not want a femme?
But Emma, there was this attack on the idea of like being too effeminate, which is what the theory is that men are taking on the oppressor's characteristics and are homophobic against themselves, and it's internalized homophobia. And so,
right.
I just
and
love
now
that
we're in
Emma's
an
Googling.
age where if someone is embracing, now we're in an age where a lot of guys that identify as whatever they identify as are embracing who they are and wearing glitter nail polish and kind of wearing sarongs and
Haven't
whatnot.
they been doing sarongs?
Like, that's cool. For
Haven't
them,
they been doing that a long time, though?
I'm not going to want to fuck you if you have your nails and toes polished.
Now, what kind of guys do you like?
That's got to be like, okay. Well, wait, before we get to that, like, I want to talk about something for a second that I saw the other day. One of the comedians that I absolutely love posted on Facebook.
I thought you were going to say absolutely hate, and I got excited.
They would have a better chance of, like, excelling, or people would if they were a person of color or a woman or a gay guy.
Yeah.
And I said, this gay guy's not doing so great. And I thought, like, so many of the gay guys that I know that are doing great.
That's also offensive too, because it's like we have to work. I feel like we have to work.
It was a joke,
right?
It was a joke. You know what I mean? But I just wonder if I were a little bit more of what people expected from a gay guy, if I'd be doing a little bit better.
I don't know, because that's you can't. I don't know. That's
people
tough.
Are floored when I talk about it on stage. Sometimes they don't. Gay guys have, like in Wyoming. Hold on, I have a question for you. Are you a homosexual? Like, after the show. No, I want to know. Are you a homosexual? Like, defensive,
like,
angry.
you would be faking it on stage?
You don't look gay. Are you a homosexual? As if I were faking
How can they say are you? I had my old roommate.
Well, someone asked if I was faking being gay.
That is crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. And I said, why? Because I'm not nailed to a fence in Wyoming.
Woo! Right. I had 2 roommates that were super masculine gay guys. You could never
in
tell.
Laramie. I was performing at a benefit in Laramie before anyone freaks out. I took a horrific puddle jumper from Denver to Wyoming.
So he can say whatever he wants.
With a mentally ill woman. We were the only 2 passengers who was in a plastic bag the whole time from the
Frank.
80s.
I feel like these things. One time I was telling Kate Wolf, and I said to Frank, we go, Frank, you got to just start doing positive visualization. Picture positive things. We said about The Secret. And he calls Kate Wolf. This is a while ago, and he goes, so I was doing what you guys are saying, the positive visualization, driving down the road, doing it.
There's a memory of an elephant.
And then a stone hit my windshield, shattered it, and then a bird shit on me. So thanks a lot for your fucking positive visualization.
I was like, that morning I was driving home from Albany, and I was like trying to do like my what do you call it?
Because I said, say the things that you want to happen. Chanting. Will it into existence.
Affirmations.
Yeah.
And a rock on the Tappan Zee Bridge, all of a sudden, a rock shatters my windshield on the Tappan Zee Bridge. I go home, and I take my iPhone out of the case to like clean it, and it goes and snaps and shatters in my hand. I call the second edition of The Secret The Lie. I do.
The Lie with
the
Frank.
Lie. The Lie.
That's so funny.
The Lie. It's true. It's absolutely true. I had a dream board. With my picture that was... I was on the cover of the New York Times art section in 2003. I have that on my dream board. I have all this stuff on my dream board. Nothing. Then I'll like have my dream board, then I'll get 7 emails from the restaurant I tend bar at. It's a lie.
Well, because things don't happen. We don't necessarily know when they're going to happen.
The funniest thing.
The Lie?
The second edition of The Secret should be
Lie.
called The Lie.
That is really
Have
funny.
you said that on stage before?
Yes.
How's it go?
It's so funny.
Not a lot of people know what The Secret is.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
what The Secret is.
Smart people.
No, everyone knows.
You perform for better crowds than I do. I'll be in
No,
like
please.
a firehouse
Please.
in TikTok, fucking Pennsylvania.
I was just in Jamestown, New York.
Now, when you go to TikTok, Pennsylvania, are they just requesting you from seeing you around, or is it a booking agent, or who's?
No, it's just me. It's like it's usually from another comic that's producing a show. No,
Wait, so what kind of guys do you like, Frank? Not to go back, I'm just curious because I've never met any.
Yeah, well, Frank has a. You get some really hot.
I do.
Trade.
I keep that trade.
I do. I love that he said. I do.
What is it? Take it to the baths, Mary. At best, all you've got is trade.
I would think guys would like you. I would also think guys would love Mateo.
Sure, of course.
I know, of course.
Mateo and I could have like one of those chat rooms, like Daddy and Boy. Go on, boy, get back in the cage. Jessica hates when I do that.
Wait, you know what
Come
would
on,
be
boy,
so
open
fucking
up
funny?
open up that flower pot for Daddy.
I bet you guys could do that and like
$4 a
make
minute.
so much fucking money.
$4 a minute.
$4 a minute.
Frank's
Come on, boy,
giving us some
scramble.
thought.
Put on the leash.
Oh, can you? My poor mother. Have you seen Miss Coco Peru? She was playing Grand Theft Auto, and she went to a stripper place in Grand Theft Auto, and the stripper was dancing. She goes, "Oh, your mother. Oh, your poor mother."
Oh, Coco Peru is a drag performer.
I met her, and I was starstruck when I
Really?
met her.
I don't know any drag. Do you follow any like stereotypical gay stuff? Like
No.
you watch
The drag queens and stuff? No.
My
Not
favorite
thing.
drag queens are Coco Peru and Lady Bunny, who've been here forever, and then Bob the drag queen.
Like,
Bob the
who's the
drag.
one on... Oh, yeah, I did high maintenance with Bob.
Bob's fabulous.
My part got cut, but they wouldn't cut Bob's part because he's a drag queen.
What's high maintenance?
It's a show on HBO that was...
Oh, that show's funny.
Yeah, it's cool. Wait, what was I going to say? People are going to think I'm a hateful person from this
No,
podcast.
you're just
First
being
of
true.
all, the tens of 12s of people listening to
Yeah.
this.
I know.
You're
My
fine.
mom will still like you.
She will?
That's our listener. My mom.
I can't
Have
do
you
your
met
mom's
my mom?
voice.
No. I haven't even met your sister. You have a twin, don't you?
No, she's younger than me.
She is?
Yeah, 19 months younger. She moved to Boston, had
Irish
a baby.
Irish twins.
Yeah, and
Can-
we've gotten
can I-
close now because she had a baby.
I want to do two things before we let Frank go, because we don't have much time.
Let me go!
We have to have Frank back because we got to check in on Frank, see how he's doing.
I want to
Frank
ask
is someone you
your-
just root for and feel for. I feel.
I want to do
Thank you.
interviews with Liza with you, because that's something that we do. And then I want to ask your opinions on celebrities.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so whatever you
You
want to
wanna
do
do an
first.
interview?
Yeah. I'm Liza Minnelli. And now Frank and I do this by ourselves, no audience.
Yeah, we do. So I understand in the 1997 Special Olympics, you were a judge and mistaken for a contender. Tell us about that.
Well, I originally I just got my start with the Olympics when I was doing Stepping Out. And Tanya Harding came to audition for the role of the dance floor. And I said she's too big. And then next week she wrote a letter to me and said, I have a crowbar and I need you to do something. And so I've just met some woman named Nancy at the ice skating rink and broke her leg.
Isn't that wonderful?
I hate my sister Lorna. Is this entertaining only to us?
You know what's crazy?
We know.
I've
We
never
also,
heard
like-
Liza. I've never even seen Liza Minnelli in an interview, so my only representation of her is from Mateo.
Is from Mateo?
Yeah.
It's pretty dead on.
He's
For Liza today.
He's doing a very today. Like, he's not doing like a drag queen at the Monster doing like, what girl's sitting alone? When it was like the heyday. When there was still life flowing through 98% of her body. Now there's literally like...
Nothing's
She's
left.
white
Two and a
knuckling
half
it.
cells left that are like square dancing somewhere behind her calf. Like, seriously, there's something shaking up those neurons and nobody knows what it is. Mateo's capturing that kind of essence. It's like when I do Barefoot Contessa, people are like, oh my God, you sound so much like her. It's the capturing
essence.
the essence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is with my mom. My mom sounds nothing like the impression. It's the essence.
Right.
It's the naggy.
It's the essence.
Can we play your joke?
Can you
play
do your Barefoot Contessa?
Can we do it and then can we play that joke on here? Can we
What, the
do
Barefoot
that?
Contessa?
I'd love to play
do
the
your
joke,
impression
too.
right now.
So we're going to make lemon bars. About half a cup of lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, don't worry about it. You can use some vodka or liquefied Molly. No, the difference. Michael and Miguel are coming over. They're going to help my husband Jeffrey come out of the closet.
What is Sandra? Her friend Sandra. Her family owns.
So I'm going to turn up the volume on this lobster bisque. My friend Anna's coming over. Her family owns the Atlantic Ocean. It's hard to like do it now on the spot. Oh my God, she's so great. She's like my Beyonce. I can't explain it.
Well, she has a cackle too. When friends come over, she gets nervous, and so when they come over, like she's real calm the whole time, talking just like this. But then her friends come over, she's like, "Gah, gah,
Wait a minute. Do you remember? You know who died? Remember, Mateo and I were going to do an animated Barefoot Contessa thing.
Oh, I'd love
We
that.
recorded like 100 sound
Her
bites.
demon friend?
They were so funny, and he just called her the demon friend. One of her friends who was actually like her cook chef inspiration, I found out, Anna, died. But Mateo drew
Did
her
she
like...
kill her?
No, she was like 104. Mateo drew her like a corpse. It was the funniest thing. Her voice, I think, was just like it was just dust. That was it. My friend Anna's coming over to taste this turkey chili. Hi, Anna.
You gotta see it. I've never seen the Barefoot Contessa either.
Oh, come on,
I
Emma.
didn't know. I didn't see. I don't know. All I watch is that show on Showtime Billions. That's the only show I watch.
If you saw this, she's like a sweet old East Hampton's white lady, and he's doing her like the spawn of Satan's groin. Is that the one with Dan Soder?
Yeah, and that's
Is
the
it
only
good?
show that I've gotten I got 3 callbacks to play this one character on it. So I started watching it to be like, who got it this bit? And then I watched it, and the girl was so good. I was like, good for her.
Really?
Because when someone gets something really good,
I know.
then you don't hate on them. You're like, good for them.
I can't watch
She
them
was
dying
good.
up here. I can't watch them dying up
Yeah,
here.
but I saw a clip of it and I thought it looked brutal.
I've heard it's horrible. I know, but still.
Well, I just saw the commercial,
Did you
and they were
audition for
like,
it?
Yes.
The commercials were like, you have to live and breathe and die. I'm like,
come on.
most comics are at a diner like, I hate her act. I mean, that's,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Thoughts on Mariah?
I feel bad for her. She's from Centerport. I'm from Comac. She's from a few towns over. I saw the house that she grew up in.
Modest?
You know, she... modest for, like,
Did she
Mary
grow up
Tyler
rich?
Moore. The house is this ridiculously gorgeous up on a hill thing.
She grew up with money?
On the North Shore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she talks about, like... She's
They
like,
spin
I
the
know
story.
down over there on Avenue F. And
Yeah,
blah,
they
blah, blah,
spin the
housing
story.
project. Like, she grew up in in the Fort Greene project.
Well,
It's a lie.
They moved around a lot because
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. I
One
watched
parent-
the Oprah episode. Her dog
That's
got
my
poisoned.
point. Fake news. Fake news. Gay fake news.
Wait, so it's not
Mattel.
because maybe they went back and rebuilt the house.
No, it was like one of those old Long Island. It was beautiful.
Wait, so she's not from the hood? She like you said?
No,
I know
she's
she
not.
never said she was
went to
from the
Harborfields
hood.
High School.
Because she made it sound like Tommy Mottola like rescued her.
No, she went to Harborfields High School, which is a gorgeous high school in Huntington. She was on the Tonight Show. She was like, Mr. Perez, see, I really didn't need that algebra. Like whatever it was that she couldn't pass.
She really used to be a remarkable singer.
She did.
She was so good.
What was your favorite song you loved of hers?
What is my favorite?
It wasn't Someday.
No. I love, on that album, I like the one that didn't take off, Prisoner.
Yeah, that was a Prisoner.
I don't
That's
even
it.
know if
That's
I've
it.
heard that.
First album is so good. I kind of lost interest after,
Would
but I
you
like
sing
that
her
album.
at karaoke? Would you do Mariah karaoke?
No, I don't really do
I
karaoke.
hate karaoke.
Mateo loves that.
We were at a bar that had karaoke and he didn't do it, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, like she
he's
calls
got to
that
do it.
squeaking part of her range, that hideous squeaking.
The
she
whistle
calls,
tone.
It's not. That's not singing. That's like something.
I know, but I love it.
I
feel
wish
like
you
it's
had done karaoke.
Well, she used to be able to sing it much better. Now it's like she just throws it in at the end. But I mean, I used to.
It's like a weapon
It kind of is a weapon.
to deafen the enemy.
I think she did it to get attention because she sounded so much like Whitney. It was like Whitney plus Minnie Riperton, so she got attention for it. And her image at first was like, is she white? Is she black? She sounds like a black woman. She looks like a white woman.
She was compared to Whitney a lot. I remember.
Yeah,
when I
and
was a
Whitney
little kid.
Whitney was not kind at first.
Well, I don't know if Whitney was ever kind. You look at that. What is it? Many nights. What is it? Their duet.
There can be miracles.
And they're standing. Whenever I've seen them perform it, like the 1 or 2 times on the award shows,
Whitney's out singing her.
Mariah is on stage right, and Whitney is on stadium stage left. They could not be, like, seriously, they could perform a chorus line between the two of them. How gay is this?
Well, Whitney also, like, Mariah was trying to sing, and Whitney just, like, put the mic as close as she could to her mouth and sang as loud as she could. And I
took
was
her
like,
wig off and put it on Mariah's mic. Don't
Hold
even
this.
go there. We should do gay fake news, Mateo.
Oh,
That is
wouldn't that be
funny.
so much fun?
Gay fake news.
Gay fake news.
Can
that
we
is
do
funny.
venereals next week? I have to go to Chicago
Venereal
next
diseases?
week. Yes. Can we go?
Yeah, let's give them a plug.
What do we used to do? Like, oh, did you hear about... This is a game Frank and I played.
What is it?
Did you hear about Sandra?
Wait a minute.
Did you hear about Karen?
What?
Well, you know what happened to Karen.
No.
Well, then you remember? I was like... I would say, like, she...
I don't remember. I vaguely remember this.
Once
what did
I
we
say...
used to do?
I was like, I can't believe Karen survived that.
What do you mean?
Well, first she was hit by the
Oh,
truck.
yeah. So it was like, wasn't it like a barrage of negativity?
Yeah, it was like, and then she
The
survived.
husband is with the man from the office. The sister is a malignancy. And the daughter's a lesbian.
And after the oven exploded on her,
They lost their house.
the beehive came after
with the
her.
can. She went to use the easy off and she had the oven on. You're supposed to use it on a cool oven. The heat from the oven, the shards of... She is disfigured for the rest of her life.
And then one time, like, the baby was stolen.
The housekeeper had a miscarriage and took the baby, left the carriage at the top of Village Hill Drive, walked to the trunk of the car to get the groceries. The carriage rolls backwards down the hill, goes into traffic, goes into a shopping center, goes through the window of the Lemon Tree, the hair salon.
Goes straight for Karen.
The baby survived.
Karen died.
And the sequel to The Secret is The Lie.
A lie.
The Lie.
I think is that all the time we
Yeah.
have?
Thank
want
you so much for doing the show.
Nothing
too, Frank.
more to do with you people.
Frank, I love you so much.
I love you. both
What's
so
your
much.
website? Tell us the website.
FrankLoitti.com. I haven't
Sei-
updated it since 2011
Sei la
when my
mia
sister
sorella
died.
italiana.
Go see Frank at a show. He's so funny.
La ragazza beve l'acqua.
The girl drinks water.
Lesson 1. Listen to the adventures of Peppino and Rosemary as they go for a Prosecco in downtown Rome. La ragazza beve l'acqua.
Brava. E il
That's-
ragazzo, ma che fai il ragazzo?
Pizza.
Pizza.
That's the show. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Some...
Bye.
Hate that.